I just had a catch up with Giacomo. He has scaled his agency from below 10K a month to now 70K per month at 80% profit margins. Just bought his dream car, which was a Porsche, and not to show off, not to flex or anything like that. He actually didn't even want anyone to know about it. It was because he loved cars. And in this student interview, the crazy thing is, he didn't change any of the tactics or the strategies in his business. The only thing he changed was himself. There's so many of these claims there on the internet that make it sound so easy and so fast and like you can just get from here to here with some shiny tactic. And the reality of it is, it's 20% tactics and strategies. The other 80% is your mindset, who you are, and who you're becoming in the process. So without further ado, let's get into this video. I remember, Giacomo, like we were just talking about, connecting with you on Facebook
Yeah,
and nearly having to twist your arm to to, to work together back then.
that's true.
And and we were just catching up and you were just telling me about what's happened in the last couple of weeks. And I asked you, can we hit record to capture
Yeah,
this moment? Because I'm just super friggin' stoked for you. Um, yeah, continue, man, from where you're at. I would love to hear the
yeah.
story.
Long story short, I have an online marketing agency. I'm definitely glad that's what I was talking to you before, that I pulled the trigger that time with conscious entrepreneur because it was scary. At the time was all the money I had, and was one of the best investments I made and decision overall. We were talking about the big jumps in life. That was one of those definitely. And yeah, just my one of the reasons I started doing any business, in the first place years ago was just to buy the dream car because I'm passionate about it. Um, and then this year, I was thinking, yeah, maybe this year, next year, I could buy the car and I have the money, everything is going good with the business because, we are growing really quickly. But it was just a thought there. And then, also going through a book here, as I was talking to you before, and I just asked, to have my dream car, and literally in 2 weeks, 3 weeks max, I can't remember exactly the days, less than a month for sure. I found the exact car I wanted, and in 3 days I went to Austria, 14 hours to get the car and drove it back. And it's a Porsche, by the way. So yeah, it was crazy to think about it now. Uh, it happened. Like I always thinking about it. It's been years imagining that moment, and then it happened. And you look back, you're like, shit.
I'm so stoked for you, bro. And I think one of the things I want to delve into on here, right? Because everyone can see, like you bought a Porsche, and obviously it's a lot of people's goals, right? But I want to talk about like the person you became in the process of that. Back then, before when we started talking to now, when you're just crushing. What did you say? You hit like 70K last month with your agency.
Yeah,
Insane numbers, right? And obviously, there's a lot of elements that go into that, you know, business wise and personal wise.
yeah.
But talk to me a little bit about some of the internal shifts you made along that process.
So one big shift that when you this is difficult for me even now. I'm always working, on it. But when you always attached to closing the client, getting the money, getting XYZ goal in terms of money, it seems like it's always slipping away and away and away is getting far away every day. Sorry for saying the same thing again and again, but um, when you stop when you start feeling abandoned internally, and you know what kind of person you need to become and to be to get that amount of money, in case we're talking about business, of course, as usual. uh, then it just came really easy, just without changing almost anything in the agency. Of course, you need to have the sales process, the marketing, the 20% of the technical stuff, you definitely know what you need to do. But the other 70-80% is just the mindset, the people, the person you need to become to get there. because it's not impossible. It's not, of course, it's not easy to make money, as everybody's saying in the web. You launch a few stuff, maybe you can get lucky, but running a business, as you know, it's really difficult. Managing team, sales process, marketing, offers. There's a lot going on, definitely. But the big shift for me was just change the view of myself, how not be so stressed, anxious about how the next client is going to sign, or where it's going to come, or the money have in the bank. And then everything clicked in just a few months. And then it never stopped. We keep growing and growing and growing. And I was thinking, geez, 10K months. And then we are like, geez, this month is only 70K. We are behind schedule. It's crazy even to say it, but that's the reality.
Because I remember when we first started out, and like you said, that money that you invested was like some of your last money, right? So do you
Yeah.
remember what your agency was doing back then?
Oh, geez. That's a really good question. Honestly, I don't know. Definitely I think less than 10K a month overall. Maybe we had some months, over that, but, we have a lot of up and downs, like, 12K a month, 2K, 20K, 5K was up and down and up and down. Of course, you're always gonna get up and downs, especially in our niche, because we work in Italy. It's a really, specific niche in construction. So you have ups and downs throughout the years, but it was just big jumps where you're like, yeah, I made it, and then crash back down. It was exhausting mentally, because we kept changing everything. Why it's not working? We tried literally everything. I was so stressed out. And then, I, with your help, with the mastermind we went through, everything just clicked. I didn't change literally anything, like on the technical stuff or the sales process. Anything didn't change. Just maybe small stuff. Was just me. Even just getting on the calls without the pressure on my side to I need to close the client, that client. Whatever. This is how we work. What we're looking for on our side, and the clients kept signing and signing and signing. It was amazing. So yeah, it was definitely a tough process, a lot of stress, a lot of work, a lot of hours. That's the bare minimum if you want to be an entrepreneur. To me, that's not going to be easy, but going back, I will do the same thing again and again and again. All the choices I've made, where you're there, seems like, geez, what I'm doing. Geez, I should have stayed, in Italy. I should have. Then you look back and all the dots aligned, and you became the person you wanted to become.
And now, what's so interesting to me from observing you, right? Because now, like you said, you hit 70K a month last month. When you told me that and when we're speaking about it, what's so interesting is I can already see this is like kind of normal to you. And it's not that you're not happy, but it's that you've actually become the person who is capable of hitting 70K a month, which is why it's not like surprising. When you told me it, you weren't like, oh my God, somehow we hit 70. Like, you weren't like, it wasn't a shock because you already became the person, did the internal work and did the actual work to get it, right? So it's like the result is inevitable. Like before this, I was just sharing a story with you about when I climbed this mountain. It was a 13-hour climb. It was treacherous and we didn't know if we were going to make it. But by the time we finally summited it, we weren't like surprised that we got to the top because we had just gone through that whole process, right? And so
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about that, about, you know, what it feels like now to be earning that much. I mean, you're not far off a seven-figure run rate, right?
Well, in profits, still, we have a great profits.
Of-
We are running the agency at 80% profit margin,
I
but
mean, that
but
that that is actual magic to me. That I don't like. I don't think I ever was getting 80%. So like you've one up me there, bro. Like your standards, this is the funniest thing. This is just for people listening. Your standards is so funny. You'll be like, I'll be like, yo, because you were helping me with appointments and stuff at certain points. And I remember being like, yo, like, what's your cost per appointment? You'd be like, oh, it's not very good. It's like €8. And
No,
I'm
it's
like,
very high, but
I'm like, I'm like, what? Mine's like 60, So it's funny. Your standards always making me laugh. But anyway, sorry, you were saying. Please
yeah,
continue.
because what another thing that I hope is going to change in the SMMA niche YouTube stuff that everybody is talking about revenue. If we want it, we can easily do 300K a month in revenue with 20% profit margin. And I saw a lot of agency going, yeah, we're doing millions. Yeah, okay, but you have like 50 people to manage, a shitload of problems, clients suing you, and you're taking on 200K a year. It's better to do 300K with 215 profits. That's my thing. And everybody seems like they're keep bragging and bragging about the crazy revenues, but at the end of the day, the only thing that the business, the goal of the business is to pay the shareholders. And if you are the only one, you are the owner of the company, is to pay yourself. And if you're not doing, especially online, getting great profit margins, I say at least 60%, doesn't really make sense. My 2 cents, of course, everybody's doing what they want. But yeah, this year, we are shooting to get to, I'm not sure exactly, but between 700 and 900K, maybe more, depends, because we have also commissions, could be 500 or more than a million. Now I don't know, but we are doing our best to get there. But answering your question, honestly, mentally it doesn't really change anything. Doing 10K, it's crazy to say that to myself, because when I was years ago listening to all the gurus, it doesn't really change when you get to 30, 40, 50K. It's the same. I'm like, it's impossible. I want to get there. Then you get there, you're like, "Ah, nice." Keep getting back to work. So yeah, even in January, we had one of our best months. I was keep getting goals, managing the team, and then at the end, last days of the month, I talked to my business partner, and he's like, we hit 65K. I'm like, huh, for real? I didn't know that because I was so busy closing clients, I didn't even realize where we got there. And then, okay, let's see, maybe if February is going to get worse, 70K. And a lot of clients didn't sign up. A lot of deals didn't go through. We didn't get paid for the commission, so and we still got there. So,
By the way, is that 70K euros or dollars?
oh, euros.
So that's, dude, in dollars, that's like 80K.
Could be.
Yeah. That is a seven-figure run rate already. And
Yeah.
you know what the funny thing is though, and that's at a high profit margin as well. So this is the thing, right? What you're doing right now is like comparatively better than 99% of agencies out there.
Yeah.
Like
So I saw many
that's
agency because, as you know, I follow a lot of people in the space. I saw many agency doing 300K a month with less profit than us, with 10 times the team. Because remember, we are me, my business partner, and 3 guys. That's it. And we can even do a lot more because we made some math. We can go a lot further with 5 people. But yeah, it's not that impossible.
and I think the thing is a lot of people get into this. Why do people even start a business, right? Well, it's to create freedom, time, location, financial freedom, so that you can do whatever you want. Like you're coming out to Bali soon.
Yeah.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna have we're gonna have a sick time as well. Back in, if you're not too busy on your lavish trip that you've already planned. And like, but this is the kind of stuff that, to the person who's where you were before, like what they want to be doing, right? But
Yeah.
you can end up giving yourself not even a 9 to 5, but a 9 to 9. So you haven't even escaped the rat race. You've now created your own rat race, right? So the whole purpose is not so you serve the business, but so the business serves you. And so
Yeah.
this is like creating a business that gives you the life that you want. And that's the whole purpose of it. But it's easy, like so many people get lost along the way, man. And that's one of the things that I do really admire about you and how you've built it, because you've built it not based on following, like you said, those guys that you've seen and been like, oh, look at the revenue numbers, but in the way you wanted to build it.
Yeah. Another thing that I was thinking lately is that majority of people just don't don't stay longer, not long enough with the business because it took us 3/4 years to get some real results because of we definitely weren't any like everything that we could have done go through and everything that could have gone wrong it did like literally everything in our niche in Italy. We went abroad and then what happened with the world in 2020, we know everything about it. Everything that could have done went wrong, it went like crazy wrong. But we stay there, and keep grinding. And of course, the first years, maybe you get the lucky, first year you get 7 figure. I don't know. Especially, I don't work in the US market. That's another stuff. You have a lot of people. If you're good about it, you can definitely do it quicker than me. And, I definitely suggest it going back. I would definitely change and do a lot of different things, but looking back is always easier. But when you're there, you don't have the future clear, in front of you. But yeah, you definitely need to sacrifice a lot. To me, at least this is my experience. Everybody else is different. There's a lot of guys 17 doing millions with crypto with no experience with anything, but that's not luck, and not everybody is starting with, I started with zero, drop off the university, drop out, moved away from Italy with no money, no connection, not anything, and I couldn't, 1 month I couldn't pay the rent. So, it was definitely really difficult. But looking back, I will do the same again and again.
Well, if you look at the journey you've taken compared to some guy who's caught a crypto pump, you've actually got life and business skills that you can now go apply to anything you choose in the future, right? You've now got leverage because you've stacked all of these skills. You can go and do anything you want with the skill sets you've acquired. If
Yeah.
you've just got lucky in crypto, like that's great, but you're probably going to lose it. Most of
Yeah,
them
that's
end up blowing the money, right?
that's one thing. But another thing I was thinking about it is it's not just about the money, because even if you, let's say, won the lottery or whatever it is, you just have like millions in the bank for whatever reason it is. If you're not the person, and especially if you didn't earn the money, it's you're at least, as for me, is the journey, the process. That even now that I bought the car, if I had 10 million in the bank because my parents gave it to me, or it was definitely not the case, or you won the lottery, it doesn't taste like anything good. It's just, yeah, I bought the car, I bought the yacht, I bought the plane, whatever it is, but it's not the money, it's the process and the person you had to become to get there, and then you really enjoy the results, the fruits of all the work and labor and late nights and whatever it is.
Growth equals fulfillment. It's that process of growth that actually gives you that good feeling inside in the first place. Man, to wrap up, I just want to ask you one or two more questions.
Sure.
When you look back at who you became during this period, where you've grown and you've essentially hit a lot of the goals you set out to hit, right? And you're literally living that dream life that we spoke about. What's one of the biggest takeaways that have helped you to get there, that you learned and that you took on, whether it's like a simple thing, big thing, whatever?
Difficult question, this one. I say, at least this is for me, because as you know, a difficult character, and at least for me was to stop judging myself so much. And I still struggle a lot with it because as you know, I have super high standard with myself, with everything I'm doing, everything I want, business wise, especially. Um, but the problem is it's easier to be motivated by it. Like, I'm not there, I can do better, and get depressed. If you're just judging yourself like, look, everybody's doing 10 times than me, more money, they're doing more time, whatever it is. And then it starts spiraling down, especially emotionally. It's just never stop. It's going to take you to the bottom. And that's one thing to have a little bit of judgment is great. You need it because you need to be critical of what you did wrong, what is going great, if you need to do more than what you're doing. But you have until a certain point. After that is dangerous to me. And that's one key thing, at least for me as a person. Um, and the other thing is it's not easy to speak about it because it's very broad argument, but about what we were talking before, that of course everybody's goal is the money. Well, it's the freedom and what the money buys and everything if you started a business as myself. And problem is the more you want the money and the harder it's going to be to get there. It's difficult to balance that because as an entrepreneur, I need to get 100K, I need to do this A, B, C, D in this order, but then anything goes like you plan, usually, and but you need to stay focused but not obsessed, like crazy obsessed, because then you think I get to get 10K months, then first month you get to 2K because shit happened as always, and you're just feeling demotivated. And then the more scares you about the money, and the less you're gonna have it. And it's gonna take hours, I guess, to speak about this topic. But I don't know if I explain myself what the
Yeah, I think those are two massive ones that can actually help a lot of people. Like the first one, what I'm hearing is you have really high standards for yourself, which is actually very good. You don't want to drop your standards. There's a difference between being self-critical to improve versus judging. And I'd actually say they're two different things because
yeah.
being self-critical is observing yourself with just like a balanced perspective, just like you would be critical of anything else in how you can improve, right? The judgment is where it can become negative, I think. And then the second thing I'm hearing from you is, look, let's face it, everyone wants more money,
Yeah.
right? Every single person listening to this is lying if they don't say they want more money if they could just have it. But the thing is anything you want with too much desire pushes it away energetically. You can just feel it, right? It's like they call it commission breath on the sales call. You can feel when someone just wants your money. It's just something we can sense. And so that's exactly what happens when, you're doing the internal work, doing the manifestation. It's about being able to set that clear intention, which is exactly what you did. Hold that vision. Let's call it, getting the Porsche, working towards it, but without the desperation and the
Yeah.
need behind it, because that is what pushes it away. Does that?
That's exactly what I went through, even with the car. Last few months, I made some question, let's say, to the universe. Okay, then there are a lot of practices how you can do the law of attraction, call it how you want it. I found my the way it works for me, and everything I ask for it, but didn't expect it, or just I just want the car, let's say, for the example, and then it just came to me super easy. So, and the funny thing that I and probably you, we always knew, how it works. It's been years that the law of attraction, this and that. We read a lot of books and courses, but then you need to practice it, not just say it. You just need to be that person, because it's easy. Yeah, I read the book, the law of attraction, the film, whatever it is, but then you really need to pay attention of what's exactly is going through your mind and what you're doing, because it took me years to figure this out. I'm 80% at least from my point of view. So, but that's the big one, a really big one, because each and every time maybe you start, I want that, but I'm not super just in a hurry to get there. But especially with the business, Then you start working, oh, this week I didn't close any clients, and you get back to the same pattern, same process, same loop, and then it's done. And each every time I got to start back again. And one big thing you helped me, that's, as you can remember, it was exactly that.
I love that, man. All right, last one for you. If you think back to where you were, what you were experiencing when your agency was 5, 10K a month, whatever it was back then, and what you were feeling and the state you were in back then, for somebody who is listening to you saying this and they're feeling some kind of resonance, some kind of intuition inside of themselves, what kind of person do you think going on this journey is right for?
One big one for me, at least, is you don't have to have a big ego. You need to destroy your ego. That was a big one I went through. So if you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm an entrepreneur, that kind of feeling and that way of thinking and doing stuff, that's not for you. That, if you want my 2 cents. Um, of course, if someone is looking for, but probably they're not gonna see you anyway, but they're looking for like the cheat code or the fast way or whatever it is to make more money fast. Mm-mm. Doesn't work like that. Maybe you can make it, but you're gonna lose it. So do your math. Um, and one and someone that is just listening to too many people. Another, maybe it's not the exact answer to your question, but another thing I want to add to it, and I struggle a lot, and that's why it took me probably years more than it should to get where I am now, is to listen to too many people, especially in this MMA space. There are hundreds, thousands, I don't know how many gurus that they are promising whatever it is, or just showing what they are doing. Problem is 99% of the time, what they're doing is not going to work for you. In your exact position, money you have, experience you have, skills, you can take some stuff from them, but 90% of the time we bought courses, coaching, whatever it is, from other successful people, agency gurus, it never really worked for us. But when you took as for you, that's why you didn't teach me this is the skill, this is the sales process, this is the marketing. It's just the mindset you need to have, how you need to feel internally, because then you need, with that mindset and that emotion, you need to find your own solution. What do you want to go? What are your standards? And that's one where I think everybody went through in the space, that we think we want X, Y, and Z, but in reality is we want that because we saw, and even realize it, we saw a videos or the girl with the Lambo, and we think, oh, I want the Lambo. Do you really want it? You should really ask that question. Do you really want it? In my case, yes, I was always passionate about the cars, but do you really want to say go living in Dubai? Just asking, because maybe it's not your goal, it's someone else.
I love that, man. So that's who it's not for. Who do you think it is for?
It is for someone that has a long-term vision of themselves, to be, of course, entrepreneur, make money. That's, everybody wants that, but to be a better person, to be a better human being overall, I say. Um, and it's, how to say that? And he is able to question himself or herself, even that with things that you just, yeah, it's like that. I'm like that. That's my character. And you need to start thinking why I'm like, why I did that thing, why I'm thinking about this in that way. And that's what you're really good, Ib, to make some really good questions. Easy questions, but really deep questions where you're like, let me think about that. And then you get deep down to the roots, or why you're like that, why you chose, why you want some stuff. Okay, perfect. You want that, but why? Okay, and that's the big thing. People that want to just to grow overall, of course, make more money, be a better person, and I want to add, make more money in a better way, because you can always make money in many ways, some legal, some not, but you need to also be the person worthy of that money. Then you need to enjoy the fruits of your labor, because otherwise you're just going to burn out and you're just looking at your bank with your six-figure bank account and like, geez, I feel shitter than before. And that's really dangerous to me. Having a lot of money and feeling depressed or not worthy of the money you made is even worse than not having them.
Well said, man. I couldn't put it better myself. Um, I know are you, I remember last time we did a call, you were like, all right, I don't want anyone reaching out to me, so I don't want my names in it and stuff. Where are you at with this now? Do you want people to reach out to you if they want to chat, or are you still remaining
Yeah.
anonymous?
That's not an issue. I'm not selling anything to anyone, but if there are some people that want to have a talk, that's not an issue. It's always a pleasure, especially of course, it's not to be greedy or anything, but especially people at a certain level of the business. That's where I resonate the most because, as you know, in life in general, if you are an athlete, an Olympic athlete, you're not talking to the guy just going the first time to the gym, and that's important. Even for myself and for the other person, maybe contact me or you, but even other person, you need to talk to people that, yeah, definitely maybe where you want to go, but not like that, because looking back, that's where I really struggle. Because you can see the gap. You are here at 1K a month and you look at the guy doing 100K. And you're like, yeah, it's business. Yeah, but it's the difference in mentality, what you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about the same stuff, but if I say to you, Tib, you're like, yeah, of course I get it. If you say it to the guy just starting out, they don't know anything about business, his first year, it doesn't really get it what you're saying, and that's not valuable for me and not valuable for, of course, the other person. So maybe having that mastermind effect works the best for follow for everyone.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll put your IG
Yeah,
below,
I
and
know I'm very active. I don't use it much, but
you
whatever.
might get a reply in a week, maybe if you're lucky.
No, I'm
Uh,
replying, but I'm not. I'm not like you, super famous on the Instagram and everything. I don't use it.
That's that's me now. Basically a celebrity. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, I appreciate you, man. I seriously appreciate you, and just seeing your journey inspires me, man. And I'm glad that now it gets to inspire some more people. Seriously, bro, from the bottom of my heart. Like, thank you. Keep it up, and I can't wait to see you in Bali as
Yeah,
well.
see you soon then.